All right. Happy Friday night, everybody. Glad you're hanging out with us here in Raiderland Worldwide Headquarters HQ tonight. Brought to you by United Supermarkets, Market Street on the chat line. Going into the weekend, going to do some grilling, going to cook out maybe, whatever you're doing. They got everything you need there at your local United Supermarkets at Market Street. You know, that one grocery store that supports Texas Tech and West Texas. Now, we're also brought to you by McAlpin Chiropractic. Kevin McAlpin, ready to help you feel your best. The official chiropractor of Raiderland. Great Red Raider, great West Texan, you name it. He's, panhandle, born and bred, down here in Lubbock. Good people. Gators Bayou, great people. Hanging out there at 98th Slide, looking for some live music tonight on the patio, maybe Saturday night. We were there just a couple of weeks ago, sitting on the patio, listening to some great music. Check it out. Hot Cajun food, ice cold drinks. Ooh, yes. And everything in between that you need. All the games on all the time, although we don't have any, tech games on right now. So glad you're with us. You guys know what to do. The early arrivals, give us thumbs up, just like James is doing, one of our Facebook friends out there. Share it, invite people in. In three, in two. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com, where you start your day. Had the Raiderland hot links ready to go this morning. We serve them up every morning, fresh and hot. The greatest links out there in Raiderland and beyond. We figured if we like it, you will too. We give you our question of the day every Friday, one standing order in this company, and that is, what was the most Texan thing you did this week? And this week, I think all of us can agree, maybe our Texanness took on a different level with the events going back to a week ago today, where we were just beginning, I think, right about now, just beginning to understand what was unfolding there in Kerr County and Kerrville and the Hill Country. That you go back just 7 days, and I hope we're not numb to it now. I hope we're not numb to what transpired. You get that way. You hear the death toll, you hear the stories, and your brain, your psyche, kicks in a little bit and tries to preserve some sanity. And we do become a little bit numb to that. Don't let it happen. Keep it fresh. The hurt's good. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to feel. So all that today. We're just glad you're here. But yeah, most Texan thing you did this week, what was it? Big, small, or otherwise? You tell us. We also will continue the discussion coming out of Big 12 Media Days and the stories, the athletic story, quoting anonymous coaches in the Big 12, one saying Texas Tech childish. It's a look at me deal. It's childish. This is bad for the game. Kalani Sitake at BYU, their head coach. Joey McGuire, he didn't say this, but he might as well have said it. His vision is bad for college football. We need amateurism. By the way, give me $5 million a year to coach. Amateurs. Their hypocrisy knows no bound. So tonight, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you enjoying the hate that's being leveled at Texas Tech, whether it's within the Big 12, college football in general, some media, not a lot of media. Most of the media people I've seen, are actually kind of rooting for Texas Tech right now. It's the blue blood schools. It's the unnamed administrators and coaches. They're the ones who have a problem with it. And then the fans of said schools. The media, I think, Texas Tech is on your side this go around. Scary as hell to think that way. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you enjoying Texas Tech being hated for doing anything and everything that any other school could do right now? Let me say it again, preach it from the mountaintops when you're on Twitter and Facebook and social media and whatever pages you're on. Just remind everybody that any school can do exactly what Texas Tech is doing. Now, it's not our fault that so many other schools out there can't generate graduates who can make money and have money and the ability to spend money. I'm sorry that nobody, who's graduated from the University of Texas, has the ability to do that. I understand that degree is not really valued much. A degree from Ohio State or Michigan or Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, just not worth much compared to a degree from Texas Tech. We need to help those schools. We need to help those. Maybe we can give them jobs. You know, maybe we can give their graduates jobs and help them do exactly what Texas Tech is doing, because everybody can do it. Nobody's stopping anybody. Robert, up there in the border area, just had dinner. One of your favorite places, Sutphen's Barbecue, there in Borger. Great barbecue, fantastic barbecue. Truly, legitimately one of the, and I'm going to say unknown barbecue places around the state because it's tucked up there, way up north. Got to go to the original, though. Glad you're doing good, Robert. Glad you're getting some good barbecue today. I didn't. Jan, a 10 plus, simply jealous. No one thought Tech could do this, and we're outspending them. Now, Texas Tech is factually outspending a lot of places, a lot of schools, a lot of, but why aren't they doing that? Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State today or yesterday had some comments saying that Oklahoma State didn't get into the NIL game and 20, the last couple of years until this last cycle because he thought it was going to go away. Did he also think the Tooth Fairy was going to come around? That Santa Claus was going to drop off 5-star receivers in his, stockings at Christmas? But he's not the only one. That a lot of schools, a lot of administrators, a lot of coaches, a lot of donors, a lot of people really didn't believe this was happening. Not only did Cody Campbell and Dustin Womble and so many others, names that I could throw out that you would not have any idea who they are, at Texas Tech understood it, they embraced it. Joey McGuire embraced it. I don't know if Kirby Hoka likes it or not. Doesn't matter. He embraced it. But the comments by Gundy were fascinating to me, that they didn't get involved because they thought it was going to go away. They thought it was going to go away because of what we call cognitive dissonance. You don't like it. You don't want it to be happening. And therefore, you tell yourself, I'm not going to get involved. This is going to go away. What Mike Gundy talked about this week is exactly why newspapers are dying. Newspapers in 1997, 98, 99, 2000, 2000 thought the internet was going to go away. They thought that publishing a printed newspaper with dated news every morning thrown into your driveway was going to survive. That the internet thing, that's not going to supplant the reader's desire to have a tangible newspaper in their hands every morning between 6 and 7 or 10, and if they threw it in the bushes. What you're hearing is exactly what killed print journalism 25 years ago. And there's still, the AJ announced this, not the AJ, but the ownership of the AJ, that they're not going to print anymore in Lubbock, and they're going to print it somewhere else, and it's not going to affect anything. I mean, history just keeps on going, doing what it does. JC's on our YouTube channel. Hey, everybody, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're so close to 500. Get us over. I want to see who the 500th subscriber is. Hit like, share, all that stuff. And that goes for our folks on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media and on Facebook. Always share this. Love the haters. Does this mean we're not friends anymore? Why, if we weren't friends, I don't think I could bear it. Well, let's not worry about the luggage, darling. Whack. What an ugly thing to say. No, it wasn't Ike. Who was the guy in the open scene? Why? Was it Ike? No, it wasn't Ike. What an ugly thing to say. Why, if we weren't friends, I don't think I could bear it. Can you imagine what Pickens would do in this era? Fascinating question. I have been told by people I trust eminently that T. Boone Pickens, very wealthy, land rich, commodity rich, cash poor to the extent that, and I'm not saying he couldn't have done stuff at Oklahoma State during this era, but that Cody Campbell and Seller, they actually would make him blush with the amount of cash they have. Gundy is a Saunier in Cowboy year, a Saunier. That's fighting words right there. Scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy seeing other teams hate Texas Tech right now, unnamed coaches, and some named coaches? How much are you enjoying this as a Texas Tech fan? I've been doing this, I got my first media credential as a member of the media in 1989. I've been around for a while. And before that, I kind of paid attention to Tech sports. So I go back a few years. And for many years, one of the things that I kept hearing on our call-in show, on different things, that Tech fans really just, hey, want somebody to pay attention to us. That was one of the biggest things that I think Texas Tech fans hate, is just nobody cared. Well, they care now. They're paying attention. And I think it's fascinating to watch, from my standpoint, how angry some of these bases are at what Texas Tech is doing. They weren't angry about Ohio State doing it, but they're angry about Texas Tech doing it. I mean, I'm here for it. I love it. The anonymous coach in the athletic column that came out, I think, yesterday, I think the quote that bothered me the most was the idea, well, let's see where these guys are who are just coming in. I'm paraphrasing. Let's see these guys coming in for the money. What's their character? What's their character like? Well, what's Patrick Mahomes' character like? Getting $500 million from the Kansas City Chiefs. He gets along with his players. By the way, the whole thing about you're going to ruin the locker room because some guys are getting more than others, that's BS. That's every business office. Do you make what somebody else makes at your office if you work for somebody? But that's every locker room, Major League Baseball, everything. That's everything. Dudes ain't stupid. But the whole idea that because they're coming to Tech, and that's the problem, that if they were going to Clemson or Ohio State or Michigan or Texas or, fill in the blank, that if they were going to the right schools, they'd be high character guys. But that they're coming to Lubbock, pissant Lubbock, Texas. They must be low character guys taking the bag. The more I read that statement from whoever that coach was, and I'd love to know who it is, and I'd love to know who you guys think it is. I think it's the BYU coach, by the way. I can't wait for Tech and BYU. Andy Reid rolling into town with Patrick Mahomes. Loser has to have, I don't know, like a giant tattoo of the other team on their chest. I don't know what it is. I think the coach who was talking about, I think it's the BYU coach. Unless, well, no, we have other coaches out there. 1 to 10, how much do you love other teams hating on Texas Tech right now? What do you love about this right now? Joseph is on Facebook. That's a actual social media platform and not a drug, although it could be, where you share and invite people in, and you share this when you watch the show. Everybody who watches and comments, you guys, the commenters, you guys are our apostles out there, man. You're getting out there, you're spreading the message of Raiderland. It's easy to do, don't cost nothing. Coaches bad-mouthing Tech. Sonny Dykes, Sataki, Rich Rodriguez, Gundy, Utah coach, Iowa State coach. They don't realize that burning your neighbors doesn't improve yours. Your neighbor's house doesn't improve yours. I hadn't seen Sonny Dykes really bad-mouthing Tech that much on this issue. In fact, I saw that he's disappointed that Tech and TCU are not playing. What I saw. Newspapers, Star Telegram, owned by New Jersey liberal outfit, down to 3 days a week, 27,000. I've got, do you ever get like an itch or like an odd whatever in your ear? I said ear. I have got that going on right now. It's like I need to uncork it or something. Dallas Morning News just fell to New York group that owns Statesman, Chronicle, etc. Liberal rags. The Statesman group owns the Avalanche Journal. Don't have a number, but I enjoyed listening to Coach Prime talking about Joey McGuire this week. Joey got the money, man. He's out there spending the money. And he was right. That when he was doing it, people were mad. And now people are mad at McGuire. But, dude was right. Transfer portal and everything else. People got mad at him because you weren't supposed to do that. James, NIL has brought the under-the-table money to light, and schools involved are in a panic. Yeah. Hey. Roberto Delgado, Tech has always accepted the pat on the head from Big Brother. No, I don't think they've accepted it. I think they hated it with great disdain. Big Brother now humiliated, accepting the pat on the head back. David Collier, he is the KMAC 28 Raider International Sports Director. I don't see why Mike Gundy would badmouth Texas Tech. I mean, he had a Boone Pickens doing the same thing for him for years. And I really haven't seen Gundy go after Tech on the NIL space or otherwise. His comments, hold on, this is funny. Ear hair. No, it's not an ear hair. It's like swimmer's ear, when you can't get that thing to pop. I got a lot of the ear hair. Don't worry about that. Back to Boone Pickens and Gundy. I think the thing with Gundy goes back to the idea, the comments he made, that he thought it was going to go away, that's cognitive dissonance. He didn't want it. So he didn't want it. He didn't want it to happen. He didn't like it. So we're going to say, well, it's probably not going to last. They're going to do some rules. They're going to do something. Now, yeah, he had Boone Pickens, and he had all that being brought to bear. Still really, I shouldn't say didn't take advantage of it. As we look back over Oklahoma State over the last 15 years, did they max out the Boone Pickens effect? Because the real soon question, kiddos, is going to be in the next year, 2, 3, 4, did Texas Tech max out the Cody Campbell, Jason Sellers, Dustin Womble et al. Effect? We can sit here and talk about what Oklahoma State did or didn't do under the rules, whatever the structure they were working in. The structure Tech is working in now. And Joey McGuire alluded to it earlier this week. Don Williams buried a great quote where McGuire basically said, yeah, we got everything we need. All the, all the pressure, that's legit. We got no excuses. The people that are saying that McGuire is not addressing that or other, they're wrong. He flat out said it there in Dallas. So, yeah, I think that becomes the question now for Texas Tech. Will you look at this in 5 years and go, did Texas Tech max out what could be done? And what is that? What is that? I mean, this year, and we've got another 6 weeks plus or whatever, are we talking you got to play in the Big 12 title game or it's a bust? Because according to one coach, you've got the best team money can buy in the Big 12. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. I don't know. I talk too much. Best band you never saw but could have. So the discussion on that in the few minutes we have left, and this is where, we have a little bit of fun on a Friday night. And I still want to hear the most Texan thing you did this week. It's like everywhere I was turning around, you had an opportunity to donate $1 here and donate $1 there. I'm like, okay. And I hope it goes where it's supposed to go. I think most of it does for the most part. Maybe, I don't know. You're doing what you can. Best band, greatest band you never saw but could have. Well, by this, I mean that the band was in its prime and you could have bought tickets, you could have gone to a concert, you could have driven to Dallas, you could have gone to wherever, and you could have gone and seen them, but you just never did. For me, that's Van Halen. I could have seen Van Halen in the Metroplex several times in the 80s. Now we get into the whole when was Van Halen in his prime deal. Like I can't say the Rolling Stones. Steel Will's tour in '89 was the closest I could have come to seeing the Stones. I think in their prime. I think that was a going away tour on Steel Wheels there at Reunion Arena. Didn't see. But I must say, at my age, and I could have, gone to Albuquerque or gone to wherever. Van Halen is probably the band that I never saw that I could have, that I most regret. And I most regret seeing Van Halen with David Lee Roth. Joseph gets in on Facebook. Classic story, big brother freaks out because the little brother caught up and is now landing their own punches. It's like when my little brother got big enough and strong enough to beat me in arm wrestling, and I didn't have to win. I just didn't have to let him win, and I would cheat. 100%. JC is playing field levels. Haters unite. Paying players shrinks map. Most blue bloods can cast a 200-mile net and find all the 4 and 5 stars they want. Now we can fish in their pond, and maybe they can't fish in ours as much. James, Metallica and AC/DC bands I miss seeing. Yeah, and depending on your age and everything else, Metallica and certain years and everything else. Timbo jumping in on our YouTube page channel. Ryan Heights Raiderland. Please share, subscribe. John R. Cash at EMOS. Help me out on the acronym there. My brain's not working thinking on what EMOS. What is EMOS? Help me out. But yeah, Johnny Cash, never saw him. Would have been cool. Not old enough to have seen him in his prime. Miss Van Halen went to Jackson's victory tour at Texas Stadium. Van Halen was there. Eddie played Beat It. I've seen the video of that. Seen the video of him being on stage doing that. Good one here, Joe on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. Everybody subscribe, share on Twitter X. Aerosmith. Don't have time to tell the story. In 1990, me and Danny Vaughn are doing tech baseball games in New Mexico at Las Cruces at New Mexico State. We almost ran over Steven Tyler on the way to the baseball stadium. They were playing at the basketball arena. What's that? The America Center, whatever it is. There in Las Cruces, and we almost killed Steven Tyler at 10 in the morning. It takes a while to tell the story. It's true, though. This close to the hood of our rent car. Oh, my. Jan, not sure it's Texas, but it's Southern. Had to explain to someone from north of the Mason-Dixon line what a toe sack is. Wonder how they had toe sack races. They didn't. You have to haul that toe sack and put that cotton in there. This is Spinal Tap. Crank it up 11. Would have loved to have seen them. Small bar show, early 90s. Gotcha. All right. Cool. Small bar show. Was it? I think it was the Stones that, like in 1990 or 91, played Clovis City Limits under an assumed name. They were kind of crisscrossing the country doing stuff, whatever they were doing. Somebody from that era and that area might be able to remember that like on a random Tuesday night, word started filtering out there's a band at Clovis City Limits, and it turned out to be the Stones. I don't think Bill Wyman was there, but most of them were. Greatest bands you never saw, but you could have. That it was in your time frame. It was in, your ability, your era to see a great band. You didn't see them, Scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love that other teams, schools, coaches are freaking out about what Texas Tech is doing? And we've got so many days coming up over the next few weeks to delve into the schedule and the record and the prognostications and everything else. But now I'm kind of basking in the idea The different media people that have reached out to me. I did a show yesterday that'll be upcoming on a YouTube channel, and I can't divulge anything more than that. Had a great 45-minute visit with the host last night. That this doesn't happen if Texas Tech isn't doing what they're doing in the NIL, in the pay for play space. Yes, pay for play space. That's what it is. The other thing that we too far into the weeds. Follow us on Twitter tonight. I'll have some reaction to this. You are already seeing the pushback on the Deloitte, you know, approving NIL deals. The lawsuits are going to happen so fast and furious, which is why I said 2 weeks ago that I wouldn't have immediately rolled the Red Raider Club, or pardon me, the Matador Club into the athletic department this year, because I really think we're going to operate exactly the same way we have been for another year. The stays by the courts, everything else, the lawsuits, they're going to try to spike these NIL deals, and it's not going to work. And already you've seen so many collectives or others around the country say, yeah, do it, try it, see what happens. See what happens when you do it. I mean, it's totally restraint of trade. It's against so many previous court rulings on how to deal with employees. One more time, you want this to go away, click your heels together 3 times in the ruby slippers and say, Union CBA employees. I wonder how many phone calls or emails Tech has received on how to set up an NIL program. Well, I mean, they tried to, one Hireway Blanchard at Notre Dame. Because he's your GM, he's the guy who structures the deals, basically. Yeah, I'm sure that Cody Campbell's phone has been ringing off the hook. Best concert, New Edition in Lubbock in '94, and again in Houston in '95. New Edition. Missed that one. By saying I missed that one, I don't mean I missed it. We're getting best concerts. I can go Eazy-E in Dallas in 1988, Reunion Arena. Hi, I was the white guy. Couple more minutes left. 1 to 10, how much do you love the hate Texas Tech is getting? Are you enjoying this as a Texas Tech fan? As you get your last comments in on best bands you never saw but could have, most Texas thing you've done, I want to remind you again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't cost nothing. Brian Heights, Raiderland on YouTube. Get us over 500. Share that. Share everything we do. Go on to our great sponsors pages on social media like McAlpin Chiropractic or Gators Bayou or United Supermarkets, and tell them, hey, thanks for supporting what we do in Raiderland. Thanks for being out there. That if they just hear from 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of you people, and we get, on a given night across all the platforms and everything else, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people watching the show, and even more seeing it indirectly through other manners over the next 24, 48 hours. Dude, if like 20 of y'all would jump in there and do that and hit up our sponsors and say thanks, you don't know what that means. Now, I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to say the media you enjoy, not just me, TV, radio shows, anything that you enjoy, the way you can keep them going is by being active as a participant and then getting out there on social media and telling the sponsors thank you. It's that simple. That if you like something in the media, if you like something that's being created, and we now say social media or otherwise or digital or anything else, it's all the same thing. Doesn't matter whether it's on over-the-air TV or right here with us. We're doing the same thing. But if you like it, if you enjoy that, and you want to support the people that create the content that you like, go tell the sponsors thank you. Again, not just me. Joe's down there in Alabama, the great state of Alabama. Most Texan thing. I told Auburn folks about Tyrone Thurman and his greatness back in the 80s. Absolutely. Great punt returner. Wide receiver, Texas Tech. He was about 4'2". No, he's about 5'4". Two marquee teams in baseball, Yankees and Cubs this weekend. Should never happen. Interleague plague is horrible. They were running that mouth about Bo Jackson. Now, Bo Jackson was great. Bo Jackson, the greatest Tecmo Bowl football player of all time. And I would say the greatest American athlete in the last 25 years of the last century. Bo over the top, baby. And they let him hit with a metal bat in college baseball, and that was criminal. Roy Orbison in Lubbock, shortly before he passed, some gal distracted me. So that would have been about 87. I didn't through there. Where was he playing in Lubbock at that time? He was pretty freaking ill during that time frame. The great Roy Orbison out of Wink, Texas, home of the Wink Sink. If you don't know what the Wink Sink is, Google it and see if you can find anything about it. Otherwise, you can ask me on Monday. I'll tell you about the Wink Sink. Roy Orbison. How does one man get a voice like that? Still, by the way, the only band, performer, or otherwise, to open a concert for both the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. And if that's not true, go with it, but I think it's pretty true. And that's why you show up to this show, man. Who else is going to give you that kind of information here in West Texas, in the Lubbock market? I mean, Collier could if it was, like mid 1990s music. He'll kill me on that. But yeah, I got you. I got you on the Orbison deal. Free parade show, I think, like Chuck Berry. All right. You guys are the best. We enjoyed it. TheRaiderland.com. That's the website. Everything archived. We'll share this here in a little bit, but I want you guys to beat me to the punch. I want everybody who's watching tonight to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. If you're not on Facebook, do that. Same deal. And then at Ryan Hyatt Media on Twitter. Watch David Collier tonight on KMAC 28 Raider Nation, 10 o'clock. If he's not on, just watch whichever slappy shows up on the TV and say, there you go, Raider Nation. Our Saturday column tomorrow afternoon, 5 things we know on a Sunday. I don't know what we're doing for supper tonight. Yeah, dude, hot dogs. Hot dogs. Sounds good. French fries. Hey, thanks for being out there. You guys are the best. We appreciate it. And thanks for hanging out with us here, TheRaiderland.com.